What's up, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode from the Lions Cove podcast. I'm your host, Marcelo, and welcome back to a brand new episode. Should be a good one. I'm very excited. Special guest, Kendall. Kendall, thanks for joining the podcast today.
Thank you for asking me. I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, so Kendall, I've known Kendall since I think sophomore year. We took a few classes together, and ever since then, she's always showed love to the podcast. And I was like, hey, listen, I would love to have you on. And found a date time, and it all worked out. So yeah, I'm very glad. And also to make sure you follow, leave a like, comment. Also as well, I just realized on Spotify there's like a rating system or something like that. So if you are watching this, please leave a rating on there because I just want feedback to see like how everything's going. So if you mind leaving feedback, that would be great. Also, keep in mind to follow, share with family and friends. I always do that towards the end, but I feel like I should do that towards the front now.
Yeah.
But, so that'll do it. But to give Kendall a proper intro, so Kendall plays softball here at John Carroll. She plays in the outfield. So first we'll start off with the awards and honors. In 2023, she was academic All-OAC. In 2022, she played in 30 games, starting 24. In 2023, she started 31 games, batted .265, and had 22 hits, which was third on the team. And then looking at the 2024 season, started in 33 games, finished with a batting average of .346, which is crazy. A lot of MLB players, hit between like the 100s and 200s, so that's like insane. And then she ended with a .462 slugging percentage and a .400 on-base percentage, which is incredible, and led the team with eight doubles, tailored 4 hits and 3 RBIs in a game as well, and went 8 for 14 in her last 3 games from May 1st to May 3rd. So Kendall, a great softball player, and thank you for hopping on today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So when did you first start playing softball, and what got you first interested in the sport?
Yeah, so I first started playing when I was like 13-ish, and my whole life before that, I was a gymnast. So, like, my mom got me into gymnastics, and so I was, like, just, like, an athlete overall from that. And then my sister did it with me, too. She's 3 years younger than me. She started playing softball, and I was like, hey, like, this kind of looks kind of fun. So I was like, let me try. So I first played slow pitch softball, which is a bit different from fast pitch.
Okay.
A lot of different roles there. The pitching's completely different. So I started out there, and then in 7th grade, that's kind of where, like, everyone chooses a sport and they have a bunch of different teams. They didn't have a slow pitch team. So that summer, like right before 7th grade, I was like, I got to switch over. Okay. And so a couple of my buddies played fast pitch and they're like, yeah, come on over. So I was like, okay, cool. So I was able to quickly pick up on it. And so I really started playing fast pitch, I'd say 7th grade. So I was like, 14 maybe?
All right. Wow. Yeah. So, I mean, like with softball, the one thing that's always interesting is how they like pitch. It's crazy. Like, I mean, were you ever a pitcher, or did you always play in the outfield?
No. I give so much props to our pitchers. They are amazing. Like I can never do what they do, the time, the effort, just like all the mechanics they have to do. It's so much. And like, it's kind of very similar to baseball with like the time and effort and just kind of the different pitches they have to throw. But no, I was never a pitcher, and I never wanted to be. So I actually came to John Carroll as like a utility player. Okay. So I've played middle infield, third base, and then all outfield. So it wasn't until like maybe my freshman year that I was just like, let's go to outfield. So
wow. Yeah. Wow. So like you kind of played everything, just like growing up, and then finally you're like, all right, this is like the one position that I'll probably stick with.
Oh yeah, no, now I like can never go back to the middle infield. I was like, no way. Like I am petrified of like just like the infield. Like props to them too. Like I could never like that it's way too close for me.
Yeah, I mean,
I like having a bit of a tie between like when the ball's hit and when it comes to me. So like,
Right. So who are your biggest influences growing up, both in and out of softball?
Yeah. So I'll start with out of softball. So my parents' biggest influences in my life. So they're always very supportive, got me everything I really needed to play at like such a high level. I went to North Allegheny, which is in Pittsburgh. And so to even like to even make the cut, basically, you have to be on a travel ball team. You have to put in the extra effort. Like, so my parents, I'm very grateful for them. Like they have put in the time and the money, and I've been to like several trainers, like speed specialists, hitting specialists, like you name it. Like I don't know, everything goes to them, and my mom especially, like she has such a hard work ethic, and
Yeah.
so kind of like I kind of resemble her with like my personality and things. So I'd say she is my biggest like influence, like just like in how to live and how to just be a great person overall. My dad too. My dad has his own business, and so like he works very hard like day to day on everything that he does, and he actually took me to most of my practices. My mom was with my sister, so I spent most of my time with my dad, but just parents overall, they're amazing. So
Wow,
yeah.
awesome. So going back to like the travel softball,
Mhm.
I mean, did you just stay in like the Pittsburgh area, or did you kind of go to like other states and like travel?
So my team, shout out River City Venom, we were like a local team. So we gathered a couple school districts in Western PA.
Okay.
And so when we gathered these kids, like there was a ton from like NA, which is North Allegheny, Pine Richland, Mars, which is another school a bunch of kids go here from, and just like a couple others. And we would travel mostly to Ohio, but we've been to like New York, like West Virginia for tournaments, like
Okay.
as well as PA. But yeah, we would. It was a great time. Like if I could go back and play like for them again, like I totally would. Like they're my second family. They're awesome. So yeah.
Wow, great. So what was your favorite memory from your early days of playing
Oh
softball?
gosh. Probably with everything with my travel team. I'm gonna be honest. Like high school was great. It was a bit different, just like the vibes and everything, because you just have a ton of girls from different like travel teams all together.
Yeah.
And the friendships I made there were great. But overall, my travel team like takes a cake on everything. So, couple memories. We played down in Columbus. We played the World Series, got third place there.
Wow.
Yeah, it was great. I had a blast. We played at it's called Luberliner Field, or I don't know, but there's like maybe like 30 fields at this complex in the middle of Columbus.
Oh yeah, that's like right off like the highway,
Hmm.
right? With all those
Yes,
fields.
yes,
Wow.
it's crazy. Like I have never been to a place just like that. I'm like, what in the world? Like there's so many people here. Like we would have a game and it'd be like, okay, if you're at field one at 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
At 2 o'clock, you're at field 36. I'm like, what?
Wow.
So we had to trudge all the way down, and like most of them are turf fields, so they'd have a turf infield, grass outfield, or it'd be all turf.
Yeah.
But that was a fun one. We've played a couple in Canfield that were a
Okay.
blast. So like just overall those girls were like my family. So and the coaches too, like they really inspired me on the softball side to
Yeah.
answer the second part of your question. Yeah, they really pushed me. They knew my limits. I mean they just that's when I knew I wanted to play college.
Yeah.
Like when I started playing for them, so that was maybe when was that, like 10th grade? I was like, okay, let me play college.
All right.
And so they were like, yeah, that. So they like pushed me hard. Like it was great. They were very supportive. So
Wow,
yeah.
awesome. Yeah, like going back, like I played AAU for I think 2 years,
Mhm.
and it's funny because I mean, yeah, like I loved all like my high school teammates, like still
Mhm.
like great friends, like
Yeah.
best friends to this day. But if I never played travel like basketball, I never would have met like my actual like best friend like since day
Mhm.
one. So it's crazy like what like playing like travel sports can do for you, and also too, I mean, you play against some great competition.
Oh
So
yeah, definitely. Just the vibes are absolutely different from like school to just travel because I mean you stay in a hotel for a whole weekend. That was us. So like we would have our tournaments would be from Friday to Sunday. And so we would play like maybe 6 games in a day on Sunday when it's like elimination.
wow.
Like I don't know how I did it.
Yeah.
Maybe I was just young, so like maybe that kind of powered me through it, but
Yeah.
like it was crazy. Like you would have to like pop ibuprofen and just like go to another game. It was crazy. I don't know if that was like your experience in basketball. Like I don't know much about basketball, but yeah, I don't know if you had the same thing with playing like multiple games at once.
Yeah, yeah. The multiple games definitely was very tiring. I mean, like, so I mean, I run my own summer basketball league, like 3-on-3,
Oh, that's
And
cool.
we kind of do like the same thing. Like we play multiple games a day. We are older now, so
Yeah.
it does kind of wear our body down.
Yeah.
I know this past summer it was like the hottest week of the year, so we were all like
Oh,
destroyed.
God.
But I mean, like kind of like looking back on, it, I mean, when you're little, like you just kind of just go, and
Yeah.
you don't really realize it.
You're like a ball of energy. Like,
Yeah,
I could never now. Like, that's crazy.
I know. No, it's wild. So, did you play any other sports growing up aside from like gymnastics and softball?
Not really. I mean, I just with being on the travel team, being on the North Allegheny team as well, like it took up most of my time because softball is like all year round.
Yeah,
I mean, most people won't notice it because like you're putting the work in inside. Like people
yeah,
don't know that. I mean, all they see is springtime, like MLB season, like school season, like
yeah,
but it's all the way around. Like you train nonstop, and I mean, other than that, like gymnastics was just that was a long time ago, so I
yeah.
wouldn't even count that. But just staying active, I'd say like is what I've done like in the past, just doing CrossFit, anything like that. So yeah.
Wow. So, what was your high school softball experience like, starting from your freshman year to like your senior year?
Oh, okay. My freshman year, I played JV, and I was told that if I played well enough, I would be like a middle person, so I would like may play in some varsity games,
Yeah,
or I'd just like play JV. So my freshman year, I just played junior varsity, and that was the best time of my life. I mean, it was just like, oh yeah, whatever. Like there was no pressure. Like
yeah.
you would just like have fun with your buddies. The coach was great. My sophomore year, I made varsity. I was an outfielder for them, and so I played a lot of the games. And then like we made it to. I'm trying to remember that so long ago. We made it to states that year.
Wow. Okay.
So we came second in our like division. It's called the WPIAL, WPIAL is kind of what we call it. It's kind of like you guys have like D1 schools here.
Yeah.
It's very similar to that. So we came second in like the championship game, and then we got like an automatic bid to states.
Wow.
And so went to states and everything. That was fun. Lost the first game, but it's all right. I mean, just the experience of that. We traveled like maybe 4 or 5 hours to the game. It was
Wow.
middle of PA, like cows everywhere. Like you wouldn't even. You're like, where am I? But yeah, that was fun. My junior year was COVID,
Yeah.
so my entire season was canceled. We were supposed to go to Disney to play at the ESPN, like the sports complex there.
Yeah, like the World of Sports.
Yep, we were supposed to play there. And the school shut down a week before we were supposed to leave.
Wow.
And so that kind of was like, oh, well, it stinks. Like,
yeah.
And so then senior season, it was good. We made playoffs. Didn't win a championship, but just the experience was good. Yeah.
Jeez. Wow. Yeah, I know. Even like that time was crazy because I know that was like the end of my junior basketball season, but our season ended like right before COVID started.
Yeah.
And then those spring sports started to like pick up and everything just got canceled.
Yeah, like we were training all year round. Like it was hard at NA. Like it was difficult, the practices and everything. So we would practice like since like right after Christmas we would just start for our season.
Yeah.
And then we found out maybe in March, I think that was like kind of like the month that it happened.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, we've been training for like 3 months and now our season's canceled. But yeah, that was definitely something else.
I know, even like the chance to go play like at like the Disney World of
Oh
Sports.
yeah,
Like,
I was so hyped for that. I was like, this is gonna be so much fun. And then they were like, yeah, no, so actually,
wow.
yeah.
Wow, crazy. So throughout your time, did you play against any like high profile like softball players or like kind of like D1 players?
Yeah, so my sophomore year when we went to states, there was a girl on my team. She was committed as a sophomore to go to Pitt and play softball.
Wow, okay. As a sophomore, it's crazy because I thought like when she's like a junior, aren't you allowed to?
Yeah, junior you were allowed to, but she was just like phenomenal.
Yeah.
She was insane, and she also played basketball for NA.
Wow.
So she ended up actually not playing softball in college. She went to where'd she go? I think she went to Dayton or in Ohio school at least to play basketball.
Wow.
Play D1 basketball. And I was like, you're incredible at softball, but also at basketball. Like, this is insane. The girl is amazing. my senior year, I played against a catcher that's now at Pitt, a catcher that's now at James Madison University,
Okay.
a pitcher that pitches for Boston College, I think still.
Wow.
I don't know if she's still there. And then we went to states the sophomore year. I didn't play against her, but my couple of the other girls did. The pitcher for this other team, now pitches at like South Carolina, I think.
Wow.
So I'm like, wow.
Yes. So,
it's insane.
yeah, so definitely played against some great competition for
Oh
sure.
yeah, definitely.
And I'm sure just like seeing like those players, like, you know, it kind of like I guess how do I say it? Kind of like improved your like, you know,
Oh yeah,
your skills.
Just being like exposed to them. I mean, I don't remember if I did well against them. I mean, probably not. But like, I don't know, just like to be exposed to those players, like see how much work and time they put in, how they deliver on the field, like that kind of like inspired me more to be like, oh, like this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, we played against a bunch of my buddies play for like D3 schools and D2 schools. So like it's not like D1 level, but still like we all put the time in, put the work in, and we just didn't want to go the D1 level. So
right, and also too like that's cool how all like your friends like also play like D3 like D2.
Yeah.
Because I feel like within like certain friend groups like people are kind of like, all right, like I'll probably just, you know, go to school and stuff, but you know, the fact that like you guys love softball is like awesome. So like,
oh yeah,
and I'm sure you guys have like similar stories or similar kind of experiences of like what's like going on.
yeah. My one buddy plays for Allegheny College, and so
Okay.
every time I play against her, like she plays shortstop for them. It's so funny. Like I hit a double against them, and she like is like pushing me off the base, and like the
Yeah.
umpire's like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "Oh, we know each other. It's fine." Like
Wow.
it was hilarious. But like playing against my friends, they're fun too. A couple of the girls I played travel with, they were a bit younger than me, but they play actually from Muskegum and Ohio Northern now. So it'd be fun to go against them again. Yeah, see their faces, say hi, and yeah.
Yeah, and also too like it's great like seeing them like after like the game. I'm sure like catching up like,
Oh yeah,
how are you doing and stuff.
it's great. Yeah, like I haven't seen these girls in like what, maybe 2 years, 3 years. So
Wow.
just like catching up to them, and being like, oh my gosh, like you're so old, and then it makes me feel old.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you experienced that, but like being a senior, like our freshman class, we have a huge freshman class, and I'm like, I remember being in their shoes. Like
Yeah.
this is crazy.
I know it's definitely crazy how fast time goes by.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, what was the recruiting process like for you coming out of high school, and what ultimately led you to choosing John Carroll?
Yeah. So the recruiting process was a bit different with COVID and all. So it was a bit difficult to have coaches come out to at least high school games.
Yeah.
So most girls get recruited through travel ball, and that's how I found my way to John Carroll. I've had, well, he doesn't coach here anymore, but one of the guy who recruited me, is the head coach at Otterbein now for their softball program.
Okay.
He recruited my whole class, and so he found me at like one of the tournaments and was like, hey, like, are you interested? And
Wow.
I was like, yeah. So like I had no idea what John Carroll was. Like no idea. Being from like Western PA, I was like, oh, okay, like sure, like let me check it out.
Yeah.
And it was in that like weird phase of COVID that like half the stuff was shut down, like half wasn't.
Yeah.
So like I met with like the head coach that I had my freshman year for my visit, and she was like, oh, like hi, this is the campus, and like it was dead. Like no one was out.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, okay, this is nice. Like
Yeah.
but like I fell in love right when we pulled up to the gate, and that was kind of like my moment of like, yeah, this is where I'm gonna go, which was kind of nice because I'm like, oh, I don't know how I feel about any of the other schools. Like I
Yeah.
was looking at like Penn State just for fun. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't play there, but like I was looking there, like Westminster, which is also in PA.
Okay.
I looked at Allegheny, but yeah, John Carroll, once I came, I was like, you know what, this is my home. And so I committed here. So that was nice.
Wow. Yeah, I know. I feel like you know, like it's kind of hard like knowing where you want to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, once like you know right away, and then you're
Oh,
kind of like set.
Yeah.
And it's weird. It's funny too that you mentioned that because even with like COVID, like I know I had a lot of coaches like emailing me saying, "Hey, like send me like your schedule so I could watch it like the live stream."
Yeah.
I'm like, which is crazy.
You're like, okay, well, then what are you gonna do? Like email me again? Like
Yeah.
it was such a weird time for recruiting, and a bunch of coaches came out to like giant like softball like tournaments, like whether it's in like Canfield. We did some like at Cedar Point. So
Okay.
like a bunch of coaches came there. But yeah, like I just got an email and they're like, hey, like we're interested in you. And I got a phone call and I was like, okay, let me check the school out. And so
Yeah.
I checked it out and I was like, this is it. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and like the one thing that was so like crazy to me was like how like these like coaches find you. Like I
Mhm.
know over COVID, like I was pushing out like a ton of just emails, just like
Oh yeah,
showing
same.
out like my tape. But it's like when you first get like that like text or like that first like feeling, you're like, all right, cool. Like I don't know what to do from here. But like
Yeah, you're
when
like,
you get like
I
your
have no
first
idea.
yeah, like when you get like your first one, you're like, all right, like I'm not sure like what's next. But I
hmm
mean, definitely a like great feeling because it kind of shows like all the hard work that you definitely put
Oh
in.
yeah. I mean, it was just weird. Just like because I know a bunch of girls did this too. Like you would go to a place and they would take like a video of you playing. It wasn't even like a real game. It was like they would hit you ground balls.
Wow.
And like there's definitely it's out there. Like
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like my recruiting video is out there. And so I just sent that and I'm like, hey, like my name's Kendall. I gave a short like brief about myself. And I'm like,
Yeah.
here's what I'm interested in. And then I just sent it. So like
Yeah.
that, like I know exactly what you mean. Just like sending emails, like, and then when you finally get that one, you're like, oh, something's actually going on.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. You're like yes, like they finally took the time, went through it.
yep.
So
Mhm.
everything always works out for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So what was the biggest adjustment transitioning from playing like high school softball to college softball?
Yeah. I would just say like the games in general. We play 2 7 inning games
Okay.
back to back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you guys play back to back? I
Oh
thought it
yeah.
was just like one and you're done.
Oh no.
Oh my
It is
gosh,
back
back
to
to back?
back. My freshman year at Carroll, we played a lot of games and a lot of when we played, we were very competitive. That was like one of the better teams like throughout my years here. I mean, this year is going to be incredible. I'm really excited for that.
Okay.
But my freshman year, we would like it would be like 1 run games and we would go all the way to the 14th inning. Like it was insane. We would play 7 extra innings. And then it would be like, oh, guess what? You have to play another game on top of that.
Wow. So like those games, I'm sure probably took like 4 to 5
Oh,
hours.
yeah. Like I'm there. Like in the spring, I'd say like a normal game day, I'm there for at least like maybe 5 to 6 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I mean, every game lasts around 2 hours if you really think about
Yeah.
it. But yeah, it depends. Like if you go extra though, like keep adding on minutes.
Wow.
Like there's really no time limit with college. That was the one thing. I mean, high school you played a 1 7 inning game and then you were done.
Okay.
So yeah, that was the biggest adjustment I'd say. And then the pitching in general, like being able to like adjust to that. Like high school was very competitive with pitching, but when you get to the collegiate level, like you're playing like against seniors that are pitching.
Yeah.
And like the amount of like ball movement they have, the spin on it is just unreal. And so that was the one thing that I adapted like as a hitter
Yeah.
that way. So I mean everything else is kind of the same fielding, like mechanics for hitting is kind of the same, but like it's just like being exposed to different people. So
Yeah, because I mean, kind of going back to it, like those seniors, they have tons of like
oh
experience
yeah.
on them, played in a ton of games, and then showing up to like your first at bat.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I'm like, ooh, okay.
yeah. So like, what was like your first like at bat like? You like remember that?
Yeah, I do. So for this season, we play a fall season before that, but that's kind of not included in our stats. So
Yeah.
my first true at bat for the season was down in Florida. We went for our spring break trip. And so I got put in, I believe, like the second game.
Okay.
So they were like, oh, like, let's see what you can do. And I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I have to admit, like, it was definitely like, it was exciting, but like, you get like the jitters there. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh my God, I don't want to mess this up. Like, let me just hit. So there was definitely some mind games in that playing with me. But overall, like, it was a good experience, I'd say. I think I got a single out of it. I don't
All right.
know. Or
Nice.
probably a walk. My freshman year, I walked a ton. Like, I think, I know it's in my stats somewhere, but like, I think I walked like 22 times.
Jeez.
Yeah. We had this girl on our team that was like 6'1".
Okay.
She was our first baseman. And our coach would put her like in the middle of the lineup, maybe like 6th or 7th, and then put me directly after. So that whole strike zone changed drastically. Yeah. So the pitchers, like, I mean, I felt bad for them. I was like, imagine have to pitch against a 6'1" girl, and then here comes me, 5 foot, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? So I got walked a ton. So I was like living for it because I was like, the amount of time, I'm like, I just need to get on base because I know I could score. So I was like, let me get on base any way possible.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
And also too, I mean, having like your first at bat in Florida is like pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it was so cool. And then when we came back, I had a couple more, and then like OAC started, and that was like, okay, like this is it. Like this is the true competition. I mean, like the people we play in Florida is great. Like great teams down there. The programs are good. The players are good. But like something about the OAC is different. Like there's just whole like. I mean, it's conference play, so everything's heightened. Like everyone's excited to play, like, and you have to win. Like there's this like whole grit about it. I don't know. I love it. It's a great atmosphere to be in.
Wow. So I guess those teams in Florida, do those like teams count as like your actual games, right?
Yeah.
Or are those like practice?
No, those are games. So they're on our record. So
awesome.
Yeah, like there's kind of like you have to win those too, but something just about like OEC, it's like. Yeah. It's unreal.
I mean, playing against like your like rival. I mean, there's no better feeling than that.
Oh yeah. I mean, like even as a freshman, like I had no idea who our rival was because I didn't even know like John Carroll existed.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, OAC, like I have no idea who's in it.
Yeah.
And so like listening to like my upperclassmen, they're like, oh yeah, we hate Mount. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I had nothing against Mount, but I was like, all right, now. And like ever since I've been there, I'm just like, I don't like Mount.
Yeah.
Like it's just the values and like kind of just like I don't know, beliefs of the team, I guess you like kind of you kind of endure, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, I don't like you.
Yeah. Wow, great. So you hit your first collegiate home run in 2023, correct?
Yes.
So take us through that moment, and what was going through your mind as you were going through like those bases?
Mm-hmm. So what's actually funny is that I hit it against Mount.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We were at Mount my sophomore year. Yeah, 2023, that's my sophomore year. And we played, it was the second game, I think, if I'm trying to remember. They won the first game. I think we were down by a couple runs. And so off the bat, I'm like, okay, like I have a runner at 1. I was like, I need to get a hit here.
Yeah.
Because it's like you just try to move the runner over. That's your main priority. Like, I mean, yeah, you want to be safe, but like you need to move the lead runner over. And I don't remember much about it, about the count or anything. I know like their pitcher, they just switched their pitcher. Mount has a great pitcher, Kendall Cahill, I think her name is. Yeah, her name is Kendall. Yeah, Kendall. And she's incredible. Like one of the greatest pitchers in the OAC. Like this season, like since she's been, I think she's a junior now. So since she's been there, she's been dominant. Like she's great. They changed her out for the second game, and so we got a new girl. And I'm just like, okay, like let me see what you got. And so I think it was like I think it was like 2-1 or something. And I was like, okay, the pitch is coming. And so I just remember hitting it. And I'm like, okay, like that felt pretty good. Like, I know I hit off the good part of the bat, and I was like, all right, let me book it, the first. So I'm running, and I'm like seeing at the corner of my eye that the left fielder just booking it to the fence. And I'm just like, okay, like I hit this pretty good.
Yeah.
And then all I see is my teammate, I don't know who it was, she was like trying to tag up on first. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like the girl's booking it to the fence.
Yeah.
And there was like no way like she was gonna catch it. Like I definitely hit like a line drive or something. And so I'm like screaming. I'm like, go! Like what are you doing? Like I look like a crazy person probably. Like my first base coach is probably like, why is she screaming? Yeah. Like I'm like screaming at the girl in front of me. I'm like, go! Like that's hit. And it wasn't until I rounded first that I saw it was over. Like the left fielder just stopped and just looked, and everyone was, and I just saw like the ump like do the rotation, like the home run signal, and I was like, oh my gosh. So like I flung my arms up. I was like, oh, it's so exciting. Yeah. And everything kind of just went to a blur. I'm not gonna lie. Rounding second and third, and like coming home to see like all of my teammates. It's probably the best feeling ever. Like for any softball, baseball player, like hitting a home run and just seeing all the people you care about and like that support you, hyped for like your success. I was like, oh, this is great. and I was rounding it, and I was like, okay, well, I gotta do like a little Sally. I gotta do a celebration.
All right.
One of my other teammates, she like hit the gritty like for her first home
All
run,
right. Hey, there we go.
and I was like, all right, like I can't take hers.
Yeah.
So this is like kind of sidetracked, but like I'm a big hockey fan as well.
Okay.
So one of the things they do is like a bow and arrow. I don't know if you
Yeah,
see
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So I literally did a bow and arrow to home. Like I literally just pulled back, and I was like, yeah, I was like so hyped.
That is sick.
Yeah,
That is so cool.
Like, I think I have it on my phone or whatever, and I watch it back, and I was like, I don't think I would do that again.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it was awesome. It's such an incredible feeling.
Wow. And I mean, like, even to like rounding third and seeing all of like your friends like
Mhm.
just waiting for you. That is just
Oh
awesome.
yeah, and I think we ended up winning the game. Yeah, I believe so. And it like was the first time in like years since John Carroll beat Mount Union in
Wow.
a game. And I was like, that's insane.
Yeah.
Like it all started like my friend got on first, I hit the home run, and then like our batch just came alive. I think we scored maybe like 7 runs that inning. It was insane. But I mean, we always talk about it like at practices, but like once one person gets a hit, like the train just keeps on going. So
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, it takes that, it just takes that one hit, and then
Yep.
it just changes the rest of the game.
Oh yeah, because everyone gets hyped for it.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, all right, I can hit this pitcher. So
Wow.
hmm
Awesome. So how do you prepare mentally and physically for like your games?
yeah, so I'm a very superstitious person.
Okay.
Very, very. So ever since freshman year, I've done the same hairstyle. And that like it sounds weird to like non-softball people, like
Yeah.
but I've done the same hairstyle, and it's just like 2 braids and then into a ponytail. I do it every game. I don't change it up. And if I do, like my whole like when you like my whole mood is off. Like I can't.
Yeah.
Like it needs to be braided. And then stuff that I do, I have a whole routine before I go up to bat, so that kind of keeps me grounded, like clears my head and everything. One thing that I've been doing since my freshman year that has kind of just like improved over time. I say a prayer right before I go up to bat, and then right before like I like step in the box, I like roll my shoulders. It sounds stupid, but I roll my shoulders, and it's just a way for me to absolutely clear my head and focus on one pitch at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like some things I do mentally. I definitely I've listened to music. I'm that one person in the locker room with the headphones on, jamming out to a playlist.
Yep.
So yeah, there's that. And then when I get to the field, I always like to have a great time. Like play loose, like play fun. That's kind of my thing. So
yeah, which is like most important. Like I feel like over my time, like I've realized like you just gotta have fun with it. Just take all that pressure off. And that's so cool that like you say like a prayer, like like before you go up. Like
our team does. We have a few rituals as a team all together. So we do a little chant for John Carroll or whatever we do, like screaming and stuff. But then before each game, like we all get in a huddle and we all pray. So that's like one thing that kind of keeps us grounded, and it's like, thanks, just like the opportunity for us to play is great, and whether we win or lose, we're all here together. So that's some things.
Awesome. Yeah, I know. Like a few weeks ago, I went to go watch one of my former coaches. Shout out Coach Nick. If you guys haven't seen that episode, go watch the one with Coach Nick. Love that guy. He's awesome. But so I went to go watch one of his games, and I guess they're both private schools, but I mean throughout like my time in high school, like never really did any prayers like as like a team or anything like that,
same
because
with me.
like I guess like people have like different like religions and stuff, so can't really do that. But I know like whenever like they did like the starting lineups, I'd always make the sign of the cross, like instead of doing a handshake. That was the one thing I always did. But it was cool because after the game, like both teams came together and prayed. Like I've never like seen that like even with like private schools or like public schools. So that was like really cool. That was one thing. Like, I think I was talking about it with my parents. I was like, that was so cool. Like I've never like seen that after a game. Usually you just shake hands, go back to like the locker room. But doing that, I feel like prayer is a lot more like common nowadays within like sports, which is great to see.
Yeah, no, definitely. Here at John Carroll, I know a lot of kids are like involved with like the church services here. So I mean, it's great to have like one of our freshmen I go to church with every Sunday.
Oh wow!
So nice. I mean, it just like it creates bonds, and like I mean, therefore, like it translates into the game. Yeah. Like it's just, I don't know, just the opportunity to play every day. It's great. So
Yeah, so is there one song that you always end off on, or is it
Oh,
always random?
I'm a big rock girly, so I
Okay,
always, um, my walk-up songs the past 2 years have been by Motley Crue.
okay,
So that kind of always, like, I always listened to them before. I listened to a lot of Def Leppard, AC/DC,
right,
Metallica. Um, yeah, I mean, I just like, I mix it up. I mean, I have to like, each day's different. So I
yeah,
can't end on the same song. I mean, but I listen to the same like 4 songs every day. So like,
yeah.
I mean, I just try to mix it up.
Wow, awesome. So last season you batted 346, which is incredible. So what do you think contributed to your success at the plate?
Yeah, yeah, it's just the number. I mean, I try not to think about it because it's a mind game. Softball is such a mind game.
Yeah,
It's a game of failure. Same with baseball. Um, yeah, so just having a clear head, like every at bat's a new at bat, a new opportunity to help your team out. I mean, for me, last year, I know if I got on, I'd score. So that's like one thing that like at least me and like the other senior on the team, Kaylin O'Delly, shout out, she's awesome. She um she's an amazing player. And we had very similar stats, and we just knew like if both of us got on, like there was a good chance either one of us would score. So, yeah, I mean, success of the plate, just practicing a ton, getting the reps in, doing every practice like it's a game. Like
yeah,
that's the one thing that I've learned over the years. Like the harder I practice, the more it will translate over. And then just having like a quick mindset to adjust.
yeah,
I mean, there was games like that I struck out like multiple times, and I was like, well, crap, this
yeah,
stinks. So I mean, it's difficult to come back from that. I mean, and just having that quick mindset to be like, okay, like that one's over, that at bat's over.
yeah,
Let's start a new one.
right.
So that's I don't know. I guess that definitely contributed to my success at the plate, but my teammates too. Like without their support, without their help, like I owe everything to them. Like they are just there's nights I would go to the cage and like my friend would just soft toss. Like
Oh,
my
which
teammate
is
would soft toss. My coach, like our assistant coach, would stay after and soft toss to us. Like anything, and our like current coaches now, like they are amazing. I'm so happy my senior year that I have two great like role models and coaches that I can look up to.
yeah,
Um, they're just so caring. They take the time to really get to know us as people too, which is very important in sports. Um, yeah, so it's just they take the time, they show the effort, they get excited for your like for your big hits. Like our assistant coach last year, he was so excited. Like anytime you got like a single, you got
yeah,
on, he was jumping, like running the dugout. Like I would round first, come back, and just see him. He'd be like so pumped. He'd be like, "Let's go!" And like coaches like that really just like change the game for players. So,
Oh yeah, I mean having a coach like that boosts like your confidence and just
oh
brings
yeah,
that like good energy like it just changes like the game and it brings like the team like morale just everyone's just vibe just up.
oh yeah, definitely. I mean, our coach this year, Coach Tony, he came from actually Welsh Jesuit High School.
Okay.
So he came from a Jesuit
Yeah, yeah.
Jesuit high school. So I don't know much about that school, but his program was great since he's been there. So to have him here and want to like absolutely change our program is like fantastic. I mean, my senior year, like having a great coach, a great assistant coach. Our GA is great. She's amazing. Kelsey, she helps us all the time. She does a lot of work for us, like in the fall too. She was here just like running practices when our coach couldn't be here. When our assistant coach isn't here, like she actually played for DePaul, and
Okay.
they're in the NCAC. So when we're moving there next year, I know she's gonna be excited to see all of her buddies and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, she's just an amazing player. So yeah, back to your like whole question about like success. Like when it comes down to it, you just have to have like a great support system and have a great work ethic, and it'll translate. I mean, it'll
Yeah.
come. It might take a bit, but yeah.
Yeah, true. So what do you hope to accomplish in your final season both on and off the field? Your season is approaching.
Oh
I
yeah.
think it's like 30 days, or right? Close to it?
Yeah, I mean, like the spring break is when we start. So
Wow.
yeah, I'm excited. So softball wise, definitely want to be all academic OAC again. I was it for actually 2024 too, but
Okay,
they didn't
sweet.
update that.
Oh, come on.
Um, yeah, so definitely want to three-peat that.
Yeah.
And then my biggest goal this year, I believe I have like 70 career hits maybe with John Carroll.
Wow.
I want to get at least 100.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm shooting for like 150, but like realistically, like I want to get to 100. Like that's just something that like really pushes me. I mean, that's how I performed the last couple of games. I mean, last season I went what like 8 for 14.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I knew like I got to help my team, but like when it comes down to it, like I put the work in. Like I want to do this for myself as well.
Yeah.
So 100 hits, that's something I really want to have.
Awesome.
And then also just be like all OAC outfielder. That's the one thing I've been shooting for the past couple of years.
Okay.
Yeah, so this year I have a good feeling if I continue playing. And I mean, the team too, like, we're going to have a winning season. I know it. I just feel it every practice. Like, the girls are so amazing, so hyped. Like, we are a force to be reckoned with. So, like, I know they're going to probably rank us last just to our, like, due to our previous seasons and stuff. But we got a whole new John Carroll team. So, I'm excited.
Awesome. Yeah, I know. Looking forward to the season for sure.
Yeah.
So, what are your goals for life after softball, and how
Mhm.
has the sport helps prepare you for like your future?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goal is to be happy.
Yeah.
And like however you define that, it's different for each person. I want to find like a job that I truly like. I mean, graduating is a big step, like for all of us in general. I'm also a first generation college student.
Wow.
So graduating for my family is a big thing. So I'll do that and want to find a good job in Pittsburgh. That's where I'm from. So going back home. And then softball, I want to try to be an assistant coach or at least a coach for like whether it's my old travel program or for like a school. Like I want to help youth trying to like or give them the same experience that I've had like the past couple of years. And
Yeah.
I don't know, I love teaching girls like softball, just like life lessons too. I mean the game, any sports team that you play on, any game has very like valuable life lessons that a lot of people don't see.
Yeah.
And it translates right into the workforce. Like being able to adapt on the fly, time management, dedication, like stuff like that, that translates right into it. And like whether you play collegiate sports or not, like, I mean, you had AAU experience?
Yeah.
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 I mean, time management with that, like I'm sure your games were on the weekends
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you're balancing school and everything. So like it's just that's a one big thing like that translate right into the work like the workforce and everything. But my goal is to be happy, goal is to get a job and to change people's lives. That's once I leave Carroll.
Wow.
So
Well,
yeah.
listen, that's like the best way to put it for sure. I
Hmm.
know one thing. I definitely want to give back with like coaching for sure. I
Yeah.
know like as time goes on, I mean, I'm sure I'll find my way into coaching somehow, or
Hmm.
or that's coaching like my like little like nieces and nephews and
Oh
stuff, or helping them with that. So
yeah.
definitely looking forward to that part of my life for sure.
Oh,
Because now like once like you see like the game, then you're like, okay, now like I'm able to help other people and
oh yeah.
kind of give them like advice and kind of be like a mentor for them.
Totally. It's like it changes your point of view on life.
Yeah.
I mean, especially helping others, like being here, John Carroll's all about service. So like giving back to the community, and everything. And I actually am a president of a club here in Morgan's Message.
Okay.
And so we do a lot of events surrounding mental health with student athletes.
Right.
And so we put on dedication games for each team, and it's just it makes awareness of like, hey, like you're not the only one in this place. You can reach out to help if you need to. Like everyone's here to support you. So I mean, even with that softball, my academics here, meeting great people, like I realized okay, like I want to like help the community. I want to change people's lives. So.
Wow. I mean, which is great that like you do that because I see that like everywhere.
Hmm.
So like I mean, you guys do a great job of just pushing that stuff out there, pushing like the message out there. So like is
Yeah.
that like I'm sure you do that stuff with like the JCU like Walk for Mental Health, right?
Yes,
Like around
yeah.
the
So
track.
we actually pair up with the athletic SAC, JCU SAC, which they are like a student committee of athletes that basically just do a bunch of events for athletes. But yeah, like within the couple new months of the semester, we definitely just want to reach like just beyond student athletes. I know here at John Carroll, like I think 75% of our like student population is at least like has played a sport, a part of a varsity sport, or plays like IM sports.
Yeah.
I mean, we all go through the same thing. We're all students, like at first come, like just the first thing. We're all students, and then we all do these things extra. I mean, and a lot of stuff like in our lives, like put pressures on us and things. And so our goal, I run the club with a bunch of the women's lacrosse players.
Right.
They're amazing. And our goal this year is just to, branch out from not only the student athlete, but just the student. I mean, we're going to have a ton of events this semester. We're doing more dedication games, some meetings. So yeah, it's gonna be good.
Wow, awesome. Well, that is so awesome that you were like a part of that group. And also too, with a bunch of like other like student athletes and just others like from John Carroll like, in general. I mean, definitely making a difference for sure within the community. And I'm sure you're impacting someone's life that, like you may not realize it, but you're definitely making an impact for sure.
Yeah, just being that supportive friend that, checks in once in a while.
Yeah, awesome. So for those that don't know, quote of the episode, always have to end it off with, a quote from someone online, famous person, anything. My past few quotes have been just like random. I found them off Pinterest. But this one is from Patty Gasso. And it's about softball. So just talk about what this quote means to you, and then ends it off with a quote that you live by every single day.
Oh, okay.
If you can think of one.
Yeah. I have to pull up my phone.
So the quote is, when you dive into college softball, your life is changing dramatically, and you've got to be ready for that. It's not easy, and it's frustrating, and there's a lot of hard about it. Life needs to be hard in order for you to know how to be triumphant. Yeah.
I mean, Patty Gasso, legend, like coaches at Oklahoma, 3-time national champs, three-peated. It's insane. Yeah. The amount of support, love, and hard work she shows to her players, like, I mean, you watch their games online on TV when it's being streamed, like, it's clearly seen. Like, you can tell that everyone at Oklahoma loves to be at Oklahoma. And that quote it's so true. I mean, it's even beyond softball, too. Like, anything, any sports, like, that you play, like, it's hard. And I love that kids younger kids, too, that are involved with sports, get exposed to different pressures like this. I mean, in the moment, it's probably, like, very stressful. But, like, looking back at it, like, all this stuff that I've been through, at least here at John Carroll, like, it's just such a learning experience. And if I'm, like, so prepared to go into the real world, like, I mean, I'm going to have a coach that screams at me. Like, I'm going to have a boss that screams at me. Like, like, it's just, you have to be pushed in order to succeed. So, yeah, that quote's great.
Wow. Awesome. So what's a quote that you live by every single day?
Gosh. I just found this quote from, like, over the break, and I really liked it because it reminded me of, like, senior year. And it's from Winnie the Pooh.
Okay.
And I don't remember it, like, off by heart, but it's like stuff like, it's like you experience things so special, it's so hard to say goodbye. I mean, my time here, like, I'm sure you could say your time here, your friends, like, professors that, like, really care for you, like, my softball experience here, my coaches, my current coaches, my teammates that I've had, like, throughout the 4 years, like, it's going to be so hard to say goodbye, like, leaving, just, I don't know, it's such a feeling that I'm, like, not looking forward to at the end, but I know that, like, it's just one phase in my life that has to come to an end. So, that's the one quote I live by. I definitely botched that quote. Like, it's definitely not, like, word for word, but, I have it printed up in my room. Wow. I should know it by now. I should know
Come on, Kendall.
It's just, it's from Winnie the Pooh. It's crazy. Like, I think I saw it on TikTok the one day, and I was like, this is so true.
Yeah, even
like, for any phase in life.
Even with, like, Instagram Reels, like, I think I saw, like, someone, like, liked, like a Winnie the Pooh thing, and it was about like those experiences. So I was like, I swear, like I've heard something like that before.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I mean, it's all over TikTok, but but yeah, that's the one quote I live by.
Wow, awesome. Well, that'll do it for this episode. Kendall, thank you again for hopping on.
Thank you for having me. This was great.
That was awesome. Hopefully you had a great time. Make sure to share it with family, friends, leave a like, leave a comment, leave some feedback on the ratings too, because I'm sure I could see those somehow. But thank you for all the love and support. Kendall has always shown a ton of support to this. So even though I'm doing this for fun, just out of pure love and joy, I love hearing your story. I love hearing other stories, and it's one thing that will last forever, because once this is like online, generations will be able to see this. Hopefully down the line, show it to my like future kids one day, so they get to see all these cool experiences, and it's definitely going to be cool to look back on. So thank you for being a part of this journey with me.
Yeah, thank you.
So that'll do it, but we'll see you in the next one, Tuesdays, hopefully at noon. So we'll see you then. Peace.
Peace.